Welcome. I hope you're all doing well. In this lesson today, I wanted to show you one way that you may be able to capture your lectures this fall and have them streamed live for students who may be watching live at home, and have a recorded version available for your students to look back on later in the term. So first thing you're going to need to do for this particular method of recording lectures and streaming lectures live is to go to the Blackboard course for the particular course that you are teaching. So the one that I'm going to use for today is going to be my kinesiology course. So I'm going to pull that course up in Blackboard. Once you're in the shell for the Blackboard course, you're going to scroll down until you see Course Tools. And under Course Tools, the second tool down, you're going to see this Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And that's the tool that Blackboard allows for you to be able to do these live streaming and recordings from. So we'll pull up that Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. And what you're going to see here is a link to all of your sessions. Right now there are no sessions in this course room, so I'm going to create a new session. Once you click that create session button, you're going to have this pop-up menu come up to the right where you are going to name that session. So how to stream classes. And there's a few things that you may want to do on this pop-up screen. You may want to, if you are sending out an announcement about this recording, you may want to put a start date, a start time. You may want to put an end time for your session. For this session, I'm going to use no end time. You may want to change how early students are able to enter the course, depending on how early you open up the particular course for them to view it live. And then in this other session settings tab, you can see a few other things here. You can define the role of the attendees. For the most part, this is going to be a participant unless you want them to be able to share materials as well. And then if you are going to be recording, I do recommend that you click allow recording download so that students will not only be able to see this lecture within Blackboard Collaborate, but they will also be able to download an MP4 file of this lecture to be able to view on various devices. Yeah, and you can just scroll around, see a few different settings here as well. So then you're going to click Create Course, and then back out of that. So now you can see your course in this original menu under Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. So once you have created that, click on the course, click Join Session, and then that is going to begin your Blackboard Collaborate session. So students are now able to join the room. They are able to join in to the Blackboard Collaborate session. Initially, there are going to be some things that you are going to want to do. If you are going to be sharing your audio, sharing your video, you can do that at the bottom of the page. So share audio, share video, and share video. So now you can see the video has moved down to the bottom corner. You can share video in the center if you wish, and I'll show you how to do that on the tab here in a minute, but it's going to default down here to the bottom of the screen. A few other things, just initially setting up the lecture capture. If you are wanting to record this session, which I highly recommend, which is going to make it available for students later on, make sure to go to this side menu, the session menu, and click Start Recording. So that is going to begin recording the lecture for your students. And that's where you are actually going to move to the center of the screen. So everything in the center of the screen is what is going to be recorded. Also in this session menu, you can, there are a few other options you can look at in regards to the session. Probably the most important thing is down at the bottom here, you see this leave session. That will do what it says. You will leave the session. The session will remain open to students until you actually close the session for them as well. But that is one way that you can leave that session. All right, so I'm going to keep this recording. In the menu to the right, so you'll see this little purple arrow, and there's a Collaborate panel. So if you open that Collaborate panel, you'll see several other options that are available for your students and available for you for sharing materials. So first option you're going to see here is going to be the chat menu. So this chat menu allows for students in your classes to chat with each other on Collaborate, and also for them to chat and then ask a question for you to be able to see as you're checking back throughout the course. The second tab here is attendees. That just lists all the attendees available and then their status there. The third tab is for sharing content. So several different types of content that you can share. You can share a blank whiteboard. So I'll do that first. A blank whiteboard is going to come up on the screen, and it allows you to be able to draw, to select. So you have a pointer. You can use your finger to point at things. If you wish to draw things within the menu, you can do that here as well. It's kind of difficult to be accurate with these drawings unless you are using a tablet and have a stylus there, but that option is there. You can also text or write text on the whiteboard. So in order to do that, you just click on the whiteboard. After you click the text tab, write whatever word. The word will not show up to the students though until you click enter. So once you click enter, it is going to be available to the students, and then you have this eraser tab to clear whatever is on the whiteboard. Unfortunately, you can't clear just a portion of the whiteboard. This will clear the entire whiteboard, but that allows you to start over with your whiteboard drawing. Another option under this primary content, sharing content, is going to be to share application or share screen. You have three options here. You can share your entire screen, share the application window, or share a specific Chrome tab. So if I pull it up, so my entire screen, if I click share, now you're going to see my entire screen, which is going to actually be pretty similar to what I'm doing right now. So if you wanted to share an application window, you could pick that particular application window and share that individual window with your students. And then at the bottom, you're going to see a little pop-up menu for stop sharing when you wish to stop sharing those materials. You can also choose which camera that you're going to share, and if you want to flip back to sharing your webcam so that the students can see you. And then lastly, well, actually two more. You can share files here. So if you wanted to share a PowerPoint file, an image, a PDF, you can share those files with your students. And those can also be shared on your screen. So that's where you can drop a PowerPoint in and then share that on your screen there. So if I wanted to share this PowerPoint, open, PowerPoint uploads, it'll take it a few minutes to upload and convert, and then you could share that on the screen so that the students that are watching the PowerPoint will actually see the PowerPoint lecture rather than you. And I'll let that convert, and I'll come back to that in a minute. Other things under this share tab, we can share polling. So you can do both multiple choice questions and yes/no questions. So just pull up multiple choice question. You're going to type in your question, type in your answer choices, and then click start. And then the pop-up menu for the question will pop up onto the main screen that the students see. And then lastly, you have this settings tab. That settings tab is going to be where you can manage your audio and video settings, and then your notification settings as well. So that maybe you want to turn off audio notifications when students pop on, pop off, so that they're not distracting. Or maybe you want to make sure that when someone has a question, that you hear that ding that alerts you that someone has a question. And that is what is in this settings, or this Collaborate panel. Last thing here is this little raise hand button. This is not going to be so much for you, but for your students. That allows a student, this is what a student would see on their Collaborate session screen, and they can click raise hand if they have a question. so that sometime during the class you can come back to that question and then answer their question. They can have that question typed into the chat box here, or you can make it available so that they can share their audio and you can listen to the question that way. So this does require you to probably get to class a little early. It's going to take a few minutes to set up, but once you get the session going, it's going to be recording live the entire time. I would also recommend using an external camera. So the camera, I have a little camera, it's just clipped onto my the top of my laptop, and then I can turn that to wherever I may be teaching in the room. So if I want to be at the whiteboard, I'm going to turn it to the side. I will lecture from here. I'm making eye contact with the students, but then occasionally I can make contact with the screen as well, just to connect with those students. So let's see. Yeah, what else? As another thing you may want to consider, aside from just having an external cam that you can move, is the microphone for that you're using. The default microphones for these computers, oftentimes for the laptops, oftentimes aren't that great. One that I have chosen to use is a little condenser mic. It's a Fifine condenser mic, and it is, I think, around $35 online. But I've got great. I've just got great things to say about that. So I've got pretty good sound out of it throughout the summer working with students. All right, guys, I think that is it. So I appreciate you joining me in this little lesson. I hope it is helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot them my way. If you have any better ideas on how to do this, definitely send those my way as well. And I'm glad I'm glad I'm doing this with you guys together. So have a great semester, and we'll see you later.